What's going on, everyone? I got two bikes I want to show you today. If you're looking for a fast and powerful e-bike, maybe you've come across these bikes, maybe one or both of them. So it is the Wired Freedom bike, and then also the Fabulous Road Warrior. This is the all-wheel drive XT version of the bike, and these are both crazy fast, right? Approaching 40 miles an hour with each of these bikes, and they're great on hill climb power. They're very strong bikes. If you're looking for that, these options are pretty good options. And I'm going to show you both of them side by side today because I want to talk about some of the main differences between them. Just give you some information, maybe help you to decide if one of them is right for you. So let's take a look. All right, so we got the all-wheel drive Fabulous Road Warrior sitting next to the Wired Freedom bike. And they're both very strong, powerful bikes, but there are some really big differences between them. But before I get into that real quick, I'm going to give you 30 seconds of the similarities because they are similar in a lot of ways. They both come with rack and fenders included. Top speeds are both approaching 40 miles an hour. That's carrying me, 180-pound rider. They both have very similar hill climb power as well. Very, very similar ride positions. The handlebars on these go nice and tall. They're about 48 inches off the ground. So you sit really tall on each. They do it in different ways. This has BMX bars on it, and this one has like an adjustable handlebar stem. They both have color displays, headlights, taillights, brake lights, twist, throttle. They both have hydraulic brakes, and they are each a 60-volt battery system. All right, now let's talk about some big differences between these bikes because there are several. The first thing you're going to run across is price. The all-wheel drive XT 60-volt version of this Road Warrior from Fabulous costs $28.99 US. The Wired Freedom bike costs $19.99. So pretty sizable difference there in price. I will say that I believe on the Wired bike, you have to pay a little shipping. The Fabulous bike, I believe shipping is free. So it's going to close the gap a little bit. Let's just call it, it's probably going to be about maybe $700-800 difference all said and done. But still, that's a significant amount to consider. Another thing related to, I'll say pricing and shipping is just where they're available. So the Wired bike, I believe, is only available in the USA. And this version of the Road Warrior is only available in the USA. But you can get all-wheel drive 60-volt Road Warriors in Canada because Fabulous is based in Montreal, Canada. So this bike is available in US and Canada. The Wired bike is only available in the USA. The next major difference with these bikes is going to be their drivetrain. Let's start with the Wired. Drivetrain here, you got a 60-volt battery with a 40-amp controller, and that powers your hang tie motor. 2,000 watt peak, and honestly it peaks way higher than that. So you're getting all your power out of a single rear hub motor, whereas on the Fabulous bike, you've got a 60-volt battery, a 17-amp controller, but that's putting power to two motors. You got a 750 motor in the back and also one in the front. So you've got dual motors here versus the single motor on the Wired. And you do feel the difference when you're riding it. This one, you can tell that it's shoving you along down the road, and if you're leaning back at all as you hit the throttle, you can actually pull the front wheel up in the air a little bit. Whereas this bike, on a launch, it's pushing you, but it's also pulling you along with the front motor. So you get a little bit of wheel spin off the line. It's got great acceleration. It just doesn't, you're not gonna lift the front wheel in the air with this one. So although they got similar top speeds, similar hill climb power, they're putting their power down to the ground in different ways. So going along with drivetrain, I'd say the third difference is just the power delivery. This one, the Wired bike, I would say has a more grunty down-low torque. Feels like a stronger pull off the line. The Fabulous bike, I think, has a higher top end speed by just a touch. And one thing I want to note about the top end speed on this Fabulous bike is that you're looking at the USA version of this all-wheel drive Road Warrior, which has a little bit stronger motors in it. So if you go out and get a 60-volt all-wheel drive Canadian version of this bike, the top speed is probably going to be closer to maybe 31-32 miles an hour. Whereas this one goes quite a bit faster. I've had it, I mean, I've seen the screen hit 40 miles an hour. It's very fast. So if you're in Canada, unfortunately, you can't get either of these specific bikes you're looking at, but you can get a maybe slightly slower version of this bike here. All right, next major difference is going to be suspension. As you can see, the Wired Freedom is a full suspension bike. You've got a rear shock right here, where on the Fabulous bike, you don't have a rear shock. You get a suspension seat post that comes with the bike. So you're gonna have a better suspension on the Wired Freedom bike. Another thing that you should note on that is that being that this has a suspension seat post in it, it makes the seat height a little bit taller. As it sits right now, with the seat all the way down, this is almost 37 inches from ground to top of seat. Where on this bike over here, if you put the seat all the way down, it's going to be about 34 inches. So about almost 3 inches less on the seat height. Of course, you can take the suspension post out and it drops down to pretty much the equivalent, but then you've got no rear suspension feeling at all in the Fabulous bike. They do both have front suspension forks. The Wired uses a Mozo, and the RST Guide is what comes on the Fabulous bike. The next difference to note is going to be battery pack. So you've got 60 volt, 24 amp hour battery pack here on the Fabulous bike. It seats down into the frame. It's kind of a process to get it out. You got to unplug a little pigtail on the other side and release the Velcro strap and wiggle it out of this frame. It's a pretty bulky battery in there. The Wired Freedom bike also has 60 volt battery, but it's 20 amp hour, so it's a little bit less. It's quicker to get it in and out. It just snaps right in the frame, like one twist of the key and you're done. So they're both very big battery packs, but the Fabulous bike is going to have more watt hours for you to chew up. Another thing you might want to consider is the weight of the bikes. I weighed in this Fabulous Road Warrior at 92 pounds on my scale, and I weighed the Wired Freedom in at about 78 pounds. So the Wired bike definitely weighs less, and it does feel a little bit lighter as well, not having the motor in the front wheel. And the last significant difference I can think of between these two is just the pedal assist systems. You got on the Fabulous, you got a torque sensor, and on the Wired bike, it comes with a cadence sensor. And the one on the Fabulous is really hypersensitive. Just the weight of your foot on that pedal engages it. But once it's engaged, it kind of becomes more cadence. It'll give you power as long as the pedals are turning. So I really don't mind either one, honestly. But if you want the one that engages faster, it would be the Fabulous one. And that's all the really major differences I can think of between these two. There's other little things like the shifters. This has the trigger shifters on it, where this one just has the thumb shifter up here. They both have twist throttles though. The display screens are both color displays. They're both really easy to program. They're probably pretty hard to see, but yeah, for the most part, they're actually really kind of similar bikes. But there are, just those differences I pointed out that I thought might be helpful for people to know. I did full reviews on each bike. If you want to see some more detailed information about the performance and some riding clips, you can check those out. And of course, I'll link them both below so you can find these specific bikes. And again, they're just links. You buy whatever e-bike speaks to you the most. All right, drag race time. We got the Wired bike versus the Fabulous Road Warrior. It's going to be a good race. I'm not sure who's going to win this. Dual motor bike versus single motor bike. One's got like a 2,000 watt motor, the Wired bike. The one I'm on's got dual 750s. And I've got my friend, Krager, helping me out. So we're going to drag race here. Are you ready? What's your prediction? You've ridden both of these bikes. Which one's going to win?
I think the Wired bike is going to blow your doors off.
You think that's got it? I'm going to say that I think the Wired bike's going to win as well. But I think it's going to be somewhat close.
I have two mirrors here that give me a little wind resistance, but we're good. This is the last time of this video. You'll see Brian in front of us. Okay. I want to say 3, 2, 1, we go on go.
All right.
3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, that's close. Holy cow. That's really close. Oh, it's gonna win. Oh, yeah, that was dead even. Wow. Wow. Dead even. I think I edged you out.
Huh?
I think I edged you out a little bit there.
At the very end?
Yeah.
I couldn't
really. You were
really
racing to the sewer grate, right?
Yeah, it was pretty close. The one up there. Yeah.
Oh, I was going by this one right here in the curve.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Not this one is all I was saying.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know. It was pretty close.
Want to do it again?
Sure.
All right, we're going to switch lanes.
Yeah.
All right. Let's try that again. Now, it should also be noted you're about 10 pounds heavier.
Okay. Or 20.
Well, 17 pounds actually, right?
Something like that.
Something like that.
Okay.
All right.
Same thing. Ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1, go.
Wow. Yeah, you get me off the line a little. This is dead heat though. We got traffic, we gotta abort.
I didn't want to keep going with that guy.
Yeah. But yeah, that you're faster off the line, I think.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But this thing catches you. One more. This is gonna be hard on video because neither one of us is pulling far enough ahead to see.
Okay, ready? We'll go back up to your street.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, go.
Got a better start on me that time.
Yeah, but you got a little more speed.
Catching them though on the top end, this bike catches them. Now we're dead even. Like,
howdy.
this bike has a higher top end.
What are you hitting? 34?
I'm not even looking at the display.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm topping out at like 33 and a half. You're probably at 34 and a half or something.
Yeah, I catch you on the big end.
And you caught me in both directions too.
Yeah.
Like
this one is a touch faster on the like top speed.
No,
like
hold
a
on.
mile.
Let's switch bikes
You want to see? Oh, that's a good idea. That is a great idea.
to check on the weight.
To see if how much the weight matters. 17 pounds, does that make a difference here? I bet it does make a little difference. I'm gonna really pull the head off the line, I bet now.
You probably will. 3, 2, 1, go.
I'm ahead a little there. Oh yeah, much bigger difference. He's reeling me in though, he's gaining on me. Yeah, he definitely gains on me and reels me in at the end. This one's harder pull off the line.
I was catching ya.
It's a torqueier pull.
I was making up ground at the end. I was going 36 and a half.
I was only going like 33 maybe.
And you had it all the way.
Yep.
Yeah, so this is a 10% faster bike.
It's the big end. It's top speed. It keeps kind of going and going and going and going. This one hits it hard off the line, but kind of just is flat the whole way.
Wait. Hold on, I was on that bike the first couple of videos.
Right.
And you beat me every time. Right?
Yeah, just edged you out at the end.
Just edged me at the end on this bike. And so my weight kept me, I needed another 50 feet and then I would have taken you, but
yes.
Yeah. Don't get that on video.
Yeah, that one will eventually catch you on the tall end, yeah.
Cool.
Interesting. But they're very evenly matched.
Yeah.
Very. Just they deliver their power in different ways.
You just need a smaller jockey.
Because even when I hit the throttle there, the front wheel came up a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I was leaning back a little, so you can really, like, yeah.
Do you want to do that again?
It's got a torquey. It's so much torqueier than that one. All right, so do you want a slightly harder pull off the line on the wired, or do you want larger power at the top end on the Fabulous? It's just got more top end speed. Well, hopefully you found this quick video helpful, and if you like e-bike information like this, do me a favor, consider hitting subscribe, coming back for more content, and I'll talk to you all soon. Thanks.